Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Street Smart Agency webinar on the 3 things every dentist needs to know to increase new customers each and every single month. My name is Jody Holloway. I will be your host for the webinar today, and with me is our co-host and the founder of Street Smart Agency, Nate Streeter.
Hello. Well, let's get right into this. What are we going to talk about first, Jody?
Well, we're going to talk first about the target market and who you should be marketing. Target marketing is knowing who you should market to, and that really incorporates many different things. One of them is the demographics. So what is the demographics of the neighborhood that your dental practice is located in? What are the demographics of your clientele and your customers? All that kind of stuff, the metrics that go into that, and really starting to understand who it is that you're marketing to. Another aspect of target market is the profitability of your potential customers and the customers that you do have. What services you provide, which services are you getting a higher profit off of, and are you targeting your marketing towards those services with the customers in your demographic?
Yeah, and the reason that that's important, I mean, we've worked with several dentists. I think what often happens is there's certain things that a lot of dentists think. They think that they're having success with a specific area on a map. Maybe they think they're having success with a specific demographic. And what I've seen working with dentists as well as other businesses time and time again is often what they think is happening and what's actually happening can be very different. And so what we'll help a dentist see is who they actually are currently selling to. So not only will we bring that out on a map for them and show them that geographically, but we'll also show that to them demographically as far as income levels and different things. Sometimes that can be a big eye-opener because what they'll realize is, gosh, I never realized I'm having so much success here, or man, I've been marketing to these people over the years for so long and we've hardly had any success at all. So often it can result in saving all kinds of money on marketing, but more importantly, really focusing in on where you're having success and getting more of those customers, kind of what you were talking about as far as profitability. And I think what you were hinting at, which was the kind of customer that you want. So not just who have you been selling to, but who makes you money and where should we go to get those people?
Absolutely. That's really what it's about, is learning how we're going to make the most money, how we're going to be the most profitable with targeting to the right customers rather than just a specific shot in the dark or what we've always done.
Right.
Next, we talk about the convenience and the convenience factor, because a lot of people in today's society, it's all about convenience. Is it on my way? Is it out of the way? Do I have to go out of the way? So convenience is another thing that we look at when we talk about target marketing, is that you have to look at your location and look at the traffic patterns and where people are headed and which areas of people are going to be driving by your door and who it would be out of the way to come and visit you.
It's just amazing. I remember working with a church. I know this is a dentist webinar, but I remember working with a church several years ago, and they hired a marketing firm to do a huge push for them. And I remember, reviewing it all. It was fantastic. I think they spent about $15,000 on the review. And honestly, a lot of the information was great. The problem was they had selected an area that they thought would be perfect for their targeting and working with and getting new customers. It met all the right everything, the right demographics, everything. And they lacked. It was a company out of California, and they were working with a church here in Minnesota. And of course, I hate to say this, but they kind of lacked the on the street experience that we had. And we looked at it, and my whole staff just laughed out loud because the area that they were targeting was actually a cemetery.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, so that's sometimes, that's a lot of what you're talking about. I mean, I work with so many retailers doing grand openings, and, that's one of our key things that we look at is traffic patterns and different things. And yeah, absolutely it affects dentists. I mean, people, is it a destination, a spot, for some people? Yeah, I mean, they're only going to the dentist a few times a year, but the truth is that convenience is important in every aspect, and everybody will always make buying decisions based on it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Nate. Is it's those conveniences that help people determine their choice as to who their dentist is going to be and where they're going to go for that service. So, convenience definitely, and then also we don't want to overlook the current customer profile. Who is it that you're having success with currently? Where are your current customers coming from? Not only where are your current customers coming from, but again, tagging back into that profitability, where are your best customers coming from?
Yep.
That's really one of the things that you want to look at really strongly when you're determining your target market is where are my best customers, not just the most customers, but the ones that are spending the most money with me.
Yeah, and I mean, to use a personal example, I think I told you this, Jody, and you've seen the numbers, I believe, but our customer numbers for 2012 are actually down for our business. And you might scratch your head, Nate, that sounds terrible. Absolutely not. It's perfect. That's exactly what we planned for in 2011. So even though my customers' numbers are down, my sales are up 25% this year. So that's exactly what we want. We want to deal with less of the kind of customers that we don't want, and it's the same thing for dentists. They want more. You want more of the customers that are making you the most money. And so we have some products that we sell for this. Probably be some information below here. We have a current customer evaluation that we sell for $419. Fantastic deal. There isn't any ongoing cost with that.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so if you want to do something like that, we can help you understand, bring it out on a map, show you where your current customers are, help you understand where your demographics are, and really point you in the right direction for that. So let's keep moving on.
Absolutely, Nate. Let's take a few minutes and talk about what to say to our potential customers in our marketing pieces. First thing that you have to understand is that how you position yourself is absolutely key.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you're putting it out there and you're positioning yourself in the absolute best light. You want to make sure that you're giving a ton of attention, and I can't underemphasize the amount of attention that you want to give to your message.
Yeah.
Your message has got to be out there right up front. You've got to know exactly what that message is, and you want to make sure that you're giving that attention to the message, making sure that message is coming through loud and clear. It should not take very long for somebody to look at your advertising and know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. And the thing, a little bit of history for those of you who don't know, one of our main businesses here is actually door-to-door flyer delivery, and what really frustrated us, we're here in the Minneapolis metro area, and really we have the best flyer delivery service in the Twin Cities, paperboy printing and distribution. And in 2008, 2009, what really became frustrating for us was we felt like we had the very best flyer distribution. I mean, best GPS, anywhere, best staff anywhere, best printing anywhere,
and
best,
indeed we did.
Yeah, best methods of distribution. The truth of the matter was we still had customers that weren't getting good response. And what we really found, we did about a 2-year study, and what we really found was the message made more of a difference than anything in the key to what made a successful ad work. And really, for us, 2010 through 2012 here, that's a lot of what our story is helping customers. Most of our energy is spent helping them come up with the right kind of message for their piece. In fact, I hate to admit this, but you can even go to the wrong target at the wrong time, but if you have the right message, your ad will work. And I've seen it happen over and over again. I mean, but if you don't have the right message, I don't care if you're going to the right audience at the perfect time of the year, it's just never going to work. And so that's why we focus so much on that.
Right. Nate, you hinted on a couple of things, so I just want to bring this out because you talked about paperboy flyer distribution services, and really that was the start behind Street Smart Company. And that 2-year study looking into the different understanding and a better understanding of what actually works out on the street, that's where Street Smart Agency came from. And Street Smart Agency is a marketing agency that covers more than just what the paperboy flyer distribution does. So there's
Right.
a brand new a whole plethora of services that are being offered up, and that's why you're seeing some of these fantastic rates, like the customer evaluation for just $419, stuff
Right.
like that. So
A lot of it's just seeing customers over all the years that we did. We work with flyers for over a decade, and seeing so many different needs. I mean, honestly, we have a whole system where we evaluate flyers now, and it looks like we're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes. But that all just came out of just need. We saw that so many of our customers, they needed help with this, and they needed help with evaluating their competition, for instance.
Right.
And so honestly, for years and years, I've done a lot of that stuff for a lot of people, and so you're right.
well, and Nate, one of the things with dentists is that about 80% of dentists are either sole dentists working alone in an office by themselves, or a very small group of dentists. And the thing that the dentists don't have with that type of a situation is they don't have the resources or the marketing department
Right.
in their office. And so much of the work that we've done has been with either dentists or other small businesses that need the services of a marketing department but don't have the funds or the resources to have an entire marketing department. And that's really where we come in, is to come in and provide some of those a la carte services that can assist and help those businesses reach their next level.
Absolutely. I mean, and 99% of the customers I work with, that's exactly what they are. I mean, they need marketing services, but no, they don't have the budget to hire an agency. Between most agencies are going to cost you anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000 a year if you're really going to utilize them. So
Right.
you're right. I mean, they're just not big enough to be thinking in those terms, and they certainly aren't big enough to bring on marketing staff. It sort of would seem ridiculous for a dentist to have marketing staff. And
Yeah.
so, but they have marketing needs.
They
I mean,
definitely have the
how do you
marketing
bring
needs.
my dentist? Nate. They come to me and they say, Nate, I want to go from $600,000 to $800,000 in sales. Well, yeah, that's you want to increase your business by 33%. Yeah, we need a plan, and we know how we can get you there. And honestly, they're not going to be able to do it on their own.
No,
And so,
absolutely not.
because that's not what they do day in and day out. It's not marketing. They need to be doing dentistry.
Exactly. And so a couple other things that we'll mention on the what to say, not only are we giving the right attention, but we want to talk about what are you excited about? What are the procedures that your practice does very, very well? What is your specialty? What are you known for?
Yeah.
So what excites you? Another thing that we want to talk about is what excites your patients.
Right.
What is it that your patients are walking away saying? Obviously, your referral business is your best advertising source.
Right.
You want your customers, your patients, going out and telling their friends, their family members about this awesome experience that they had in your dental practice. So
Yep.
what are your patients excited about? That's something that you want to be excited about. That's something that you want to say. And then lastly, we just kind of abbreviate it here as saying what sets you apart. And in the marketing world, we call that your USP, or your unique selling proposition. What is it that makes you the best?
Yep. And honestly, I meet with all kinds of people week in and week out. They don't have any unique selling propositions. I mean, I work with all kinds of franchises. They're in industries where they really don't have, they try to talk about their unique selling propositions, but the reality is they don't. So you scratch your head and you say, well, Nate, does that mean that they aren't going to have any success with their marketing? No. They can definitely have success. Honestly, the irony is that you don't necessarily have to have very strong unique selling propositions to be successful in marketing. The way that most businesses think about unique selling propositions is often wrong. They think about some unique dentist procedure or some unique thing they have in their office. That's often not the correct way to think about a unique selling proposition. Just the fact that you care about mentally retarded kids. Maybe that's not even the political correct way to say it. Am I missing that, Jody?
You said developmentally disabled.
Okay, yeah, I apologize. But if that's a passion of yours, I know it might sound bad, but that is a marketing opportunity. And you can utilize that passion that you have for something that maybe isn't even completely related to dentistry to really propel your business. And that's part of what I know we're going to talk about at the end, the consult. which is really, in my mind, the very first step to helping people. And so I'm getting ahead of you, I know, a little bit, but
all right.
but that's part of what will help them navigate. So if you're thinking at this point, 15 minutes into this webinar, you're thinking, gosh, Nate, I don't know if I have any unique selling propositions. I don't have any referral system. Don't worry about all that. That's part of what we can help you with.
That's what we do, is we help you determine what your unique selling proposition is. And Nate, we have one dental client that isn't, when we talk about demographics and locations, they're advertising their practice all over in a location that's not even remotely close to them, because their unique selling proposition is such that it's not necessarily the people in their neighborhood that they're going to attract. Yeah,
we did a huge, there's a very large dentist we're working with right now. We can't really use names, in a webinar like this, but large in the Twin Cities. Absolutely. We did a customer analysis for them. They have 8,000 patients, I think. So, that gives you an idea how big a practice that we're working with. I think it might have been 14,000. I apologize. But anyway, we did an analysis, and you're exactly right. There was pockets, neighborhoods all over the Twin Cities that they were having success in, because they had a very specific demographic that they were working with. And what we've really been able to help them do in the last 12 months is stop wasting money in areas that weren't working anyway. Let's focus on these specific demographics. Let's go after them with a vengeance. And, I'm proud to show, they showed me their 2011 numbers. Not only am I getting them more customers than any other of their advertisers, but I'm also their highest return on investment. So I'm costing them less per lead with our flyer delivery services. So that's a huge win for them.
Absolutely. And Nate, that's one of the little quotes that we put on the top of the screen.
Oh, okay.
In one of the upcoming slides.
Okay.
So everybody will get a chance to see that as well. As we continue on talking about what you should say, just to, again, each of those marketing pieces has to have some certain components. We'd like to tell you what those are. The first one is just an absolute powerhouse headline that is going to grab people's attention. Like we say, right at the top of your screen, a person decides what to do with an advertisement within the first 5 seconds. So what you say is it's critical, and how you say it is even more critical. That headline has got to grab their attention, because they're not going to look at it for more than just a couple of seconds, and they're going to decide whether they want to read the rest of it, whether they want to know what it is, and they should know just from that headline alone what this marketing piece is about.
Yeah, and I work with dentists, and they say, Nate, I've got 5 other dentists within 4 miles of me, or whatever the case might be. I've seen their ads, and they're terrible. So, we could, again, not to get into selling services, but we can do a competition evaluation, and it's, a couple $100, but the thing is that it's likely your competitors' ads are terrible. And part of this is this reason. They think they can just basically put out an ad, whether it's an online with their Google ads or their website or print or whatever they're doing, and just basically say, hey, I'm a dentist, and don't worry, you can whoop their butt, in your local area. And part of that is doing this exact thing. We've developed a whole system where we'll take your piece, your advertising piece, or your web page, landing page, whatever, and we can rate it. We have a whole system where we rate it between 0 and 100 based on all kinds of different systems that we've developed, and really create an ad that we know will work for you, or a landing page that we know will work for you. And Jody's right. A powerful headline is a huge component of that.
Another component is the copy and pictures, and making sure that you're targeting a specific need that your customers have. They should know that, all right, this piece is absolutely directed at, oh my goodness, I have a toothache and it's just killing me. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Well, if somebody can connect with that visually through a picture, that's going to make they're in that place where they have that toothache, they're going to go, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need.
Absolutely. We say in this business, if you aim for everything, you'll hit nothing every time. Whereas if you aim for something very specific, it's very likely you'll hit it. And, not to go across borders here too much, but, we work with a lot of lawn care companies with their marketing. And we put together an ad for a lawn care company in the Twin Cities, fairly large lawn care company, and it was a lot of skepticism when we first put the ad together because it was a springtime ad and it focused on mulch. And you guys probably are familiar with the mulch stuff you put in your gardens all over the place. Well, this is a huge need for a lot of people, and it's a pain in the neck to put new mulch in all of your gardens and stuff. So we looked at it, we said, and everybody said, oh, I don't know, this is too specific. We're going to miss all the lawn care customers and all the people who need fertilization and all the people who need aeration and all these other things. No. What we did was we not only got them all kinds of new mulching jobs, which was fantastic, but they also, people aren't dumb. They recognize, hey, this is a lawn care company. They do all this other stuff too. So they've got all their normal phone calls too. So, we did do some calls to action on the back that did focus on a few other things. But all that just to tell you, you have to have some direction because you just put together an ad that focuses on too much and you'll hit nothing. And then what I hear every day is, oh, Nate, I tried direct mail. It doesn't work at all. Well, show me the piece that you did. And I'll likely tell you why it didn't work. It wasn't anything to do with direct mail. It was, again, a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. Exactly what is the message?
What to say, what the message is. And that picture can be different. It can be the toothache and you're showing that in a picture, or maybe you're showing a before and after photograph of a smiling face with crowns, whatever that message is. And it can vary. You can change that up from one piece to the next piece.
Oh, absolutely.
And indeed you should, because now you're starting to build your brand recognition, and other people are starting to see, oh, hey, isn't that the piece that I saw from that dentist a couple of months ago? Or isn't that the same dentist rather that I saw a piece from just a couple of months ago? And the last component here is to make sure that we have a strong call to action. You need to tell your potential customers what they need to do next.
Yep. And we did promise you guys that we would give you 5 messages that we knew would work. What I'm going to do, because we don't want to waste too much time on this webinar going through these things needlessly, and Jody actually has even hinted at a few of them already. We're going to have a link below here in the webinar that you can click on it and download this report. I'll quick go through a few of them that we've had lots of success. In fact, we have more than 5. I've got 8 listed here that I've had success working with dentists and other personal services, so chiropractors, different companies like that. So
right on. Why don't you throw those out?
Yeah, let me go
like
through
bullet
these.
Point.
Yeah, so one of the first ones that we've done, which you just mentioned, was the specific dental needs. So focus on cleaning or a crown or a toothache. Or I know that you guys are starting to get into, what's that stuff called that they put under the skin, Jody, that the women use?
Botox.
Yeah, Botox. And, of course, all the cosmetic dentistry. So focus on it. Yes, focus on a specific thing. Or we've also had success focusing on a specific target. So kids can be huge because a lot of dentists actually don't like working with kids. If that's your case, focus on something else, elderly or working moms. Let's say you're open at different times, so you have different circumstances, or let's say you're a great place to go for lunch, for a lunchtime quick, you're around a lot of businesses, or maybe they're in a different circumstance. So the third one we've done is they've had a bad experience with dentists. I'm sure you guys get lots of those people, or they need somebody that is very gentle. I mean, I know that that's kind of played out. Or they haven't seen a dentist in years. Focus on something like that. The fourth thing is focus on something specific that you're kind of excited about in your industry. So let's say it, for a while there, it was the they put you down. I can't remember what that again. I don't know all the
sedation.
Yeah, there we go. See, all this different stuff. But but that's kind of, everybody does that now. So it's not very unique. But maybe there's something new that you're excited about, whether it's Botox or something. The fifth one, I just love this, and we've seen so much success with this. It's a positioning piece. So again, kind of focusing on, what is it that you're passionate about? Is there something in the community that you're doing? How can, I want to see a piece that after I look at this, I say, man, that dentist, I really like him. He's a really nice guy. He really does good things. And we can set a piece up that will really position you that way. You can do an event or something in the community that would surround that too. So it isn't necessarily just all about you, but you can focus on something that you're specifically doing. Jody said before and after, we've certainly had success with those. So that was the 6th one. The 7th one, which I probably have done more than anything in the last 12 months, is a social proof piece. So we focus on specific comments that your customers have made or specific things that people are saying about you online, and we've had huge amounts of success with that. Again, it's somewhat of a positioning piece, but it's really focusing on what people are saying about you.
And it's important to note that, if one of these pieces just grates against you and you're like, oh man, I don't want to do a community event. Maybe going into the school and having, Dental Hygiene Awareness Week is not really your forte. If it's not your forte, then skip that one and go on to the next. Find the message that works for you, that works for your practice, and is working for your patients, and you're going to want to run with that. So these are just different things that we've seen work for different dentists in different communities, and we know that they work. We know that they'll work again. It's just a matter of again, knowing who you are and who your best customer is, and going through and evaluating and that figuring out.
And that's partly
what
also,
is it that I need to say to who.
Yeah, and that's also partly why it's so important to meet with someone who's used to working with this. I mean, and that's why your call to action at the end here, Jody, is so incredible, because honestly, being able to meet with someone who is really working with marketing every day and can help you navigate this, and for free, is just an incredibly valuable thing. Because honestly, meeting, I'll give you a perfect example. I met with someone earlier this year. He told me he had called half a dozen marketing different advertising firms, and he was working with the newspaper and different things. And one of the things that he liked, he basically told me after the very first time we met, he said, Nate, honestly, it's so refreshing to meet with someone who isn't trying to sell me advertising, who really is trying to look at this in the bigger picture and figure out how to position me and how to market me. And that's exactly the key. You need someone who can look through that, because you sure as heck do not want to be positioning yourself as the community guy if you're not. And I agree with you. So that's meeting with someone and helping you. So the 8th thing, which we've done a lot too, is an offer-driven piece. And even at the end here, as you see up on the screen, the strong call to action. We always want a strong call to action. What that means can mean different things, but a strong offer might be a $69 free, to have them come in for a cleaning and x-rays or something like that. Those can often work. Or something based around crowns or cosmetic dentistry, or, there's a million different successful coupons and things we've done for dentists. So let's move on. You can download it below. Let's get into the next slide here.
Sure, sounds good. Nate, you kind of gave me away in my offer at the end here for a free consult, but again, you kind of touched on it right afterwards. You have customers that appreciate the fact that you're not just trying to sell somebody something. As a dentist, you're not going to get ahead. You're not going to gain your customers unless you're helping them with either making their teeth cleaner or their mouth more healthy. You're definitely doing good for your clients, for your patients. If you're not going to make money. You're not going to move ahead. You're not going to have a practice for very long. So you're doing something for them, and yes, they're being a customer for you, but at the same time, they're getting a definite value out of it. At the same time, at Street Smart Agency, our focus, obviously we have to sell something to continue to work, but at the same time, the only way we're going to continue to sell things is if we're offering a value that is helping somebody get ahead and helping them grow our businesses. And that's why I think, Nate, we have less customers this year than last year, and we have higher profits, is because we're helping customers, and those customers are saying, hey, you know what, this is working for us, let's push forward with it.
Well, that's one of my key metrics I continue to look at. I mean, and I want my customers to look at too is, are people spending more with you this year than they were last year? I realize with dentists it's a little different, but we could help you figure out some upsell opportunities and different ways to get your customers spending more with you. But it's key. I mean, I honestly, that's pretty much the key metric I look at is, are they spending more with me in 2012 than they were in 2011? And since we're in the marketing business, that's a key indicator of return on investment for them. But long-term marketing strategy is huge, especially with the advent of things like, Groupon and Living Social, we're seeing a lot of our customers kind of crying about these one-off marketing things that really haven't helped them long-term strategically. And so what we see is a huge amount of opportunity there. And I know you have a bunch of numbers that you've gone through, Jody, as far as lifetime value for dentists and some different things that way. Obviously, they're looking at, all dentists are looking at creating long-term customers. And they need to have marketing that will continue to bring new patients in. So just like that quote you see up there, I got 5 new patients from this drop. So, you're getting, I think a few slides back we had, 20 new patients or something from his first drop, the other dentist that we had in this. So, if what you look at, those are specifically flyer delivery that we had done for them, but consistency is the key. We're consistently bringing in new customers for them. We're creating systems that are consistently increasing their sales, and that's really the key.
Right, and it's not just consistently, but it's also the quality of the new patient.
Yep.
So the long-term marketing strategy is really about making sure that it's designed to bring in quality new patients. And when I say quality new patients, I'm talking about the best customers that we were aiming our marketing at in the target marketing. The best customers are the ones that are going to bring in money to us. They're the ones that are going to spend more this next year than they are this year, because they've come in and they like the service that they got. They like the quality of service that they got. They're going out there. Not only are they going to come in and spend more money with us, but they're going to go home and they're going to tell their neighbors and their friends about the experience that they had. So when we talk about long-term marketing strategy, it's designed to bring in customers not just this time, but again next month and the month after and the month after. Nate, you wanted to say something.
It's important. What you're saying is so important because, I just think about a sushi restaurant that we've been working with, and, they did a huge Groupon, and, honestly, when we look at the results with them from it, yes, it brought in a ton of sales for them, but as they really really looked at the metrics of it, and as we really analyzed things 6-12 months down the road, what we really saw is it wasn't helpful to them. It brought in all kinds of new people. So there's a couple things. Brought in all kinds of new people, but the vast majority of the people that they brought in were not high-quality customers. They were value seekers. They didn't come back. They weren't willing to pay normal prices for sushi. They wanted 50% off, and they weren't going to come in unless you did 50% off. Well, that wasn't long-term strategy for them then. And not only that, a bunch of their normal customers bought the deal. So they lost a bunch of, really, in a lot of ways, sales because they were paying half price for something they normally pay full price for.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, it was also inconvenient for their normal customers during that period, that 3 to 6 week period after they ran the special, because they were so busy that a lot of their normal customers told them, this is a pain in the neck. I don't even want to come in. It's so crazy. And so they weren't able to provide the same level of service. So again, thinking about long-term marketing strategy, getting the right kinds of customers. I could give you 20 different stories right now, Jody, whether it was asphalt or tree companies. There's so many different variety of companies we work with.
Of course.
That for them, a quality customer means something different. But the reality is getting the right kind of customer is worth more in some cases, and it has a much longer, higher return on investment. And that's what we'd focus on for you.
Definitely, and that's really what we're talking about. Do you want to be known, or do you just want to have a few coupons come in?
Right.
You really want to be known. You want a long-term marketing strategy is something that's going to brand you. It's going to make sure that people know, oh, that dentist.
Yep.
Oh, this one, I know who that is. I trust them. I've seen them around before. They've been here for forever. Or if you're brand new, that oh man, they're really putting themselves out there and getting to know the community and putting themselves out there so that everybody knows exactly who they are, not just getting those customers to come in with the coupon, but so that they're known and trusted. And we want you to be known and trusted. We want your clients, your patients to say, hey, you know what? I feel comfortable going in. And one of the pieces that I saw, just said something to the effect of, hey, you know what? I'm not nervous going to the dentist anymore. What a great social proof piece, because it says, hey, you know what? I used to be nervous about that because, everybody, ooh, no, I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to get my teeth drilled and my head, is going to come out with another hole in it or something. And just to have that social proof, I'm not nervous anymore.
Right.
You want to be known in that kind of a light, not just have those coupons coming in.
And, I know we've talked kind of marketing 101 here a little bit throughout this webinar, but, that's focusing on the benefits rather than the features. So, and that's always key. What's in it for me? Why should I care? And, if your marketing isn't written and thought through in that term as what's in it for the person who's reading it, why should they care about it? You're going to miss the mark every time. So that hits the nail on the head. What's in it for me? Well, I don't have to be fearful or scared. Or, let's say a lot of people, let's say one of the things about your dentistry is it doesn't have that awful smell that a lot of dentists have.
Oh my goodness.
You might be surprised at how well an ad that focused on the smell of your office would pull in new customers. It's just crazy but it's a huge benefit. People, especially women, they have such a sensitive smell. I mean, I can tell you, my wife, Leah, that would be huge for her. I swear she can smell when the neighbors are doing their laundry down the street. I mean, it's just crazy. So,
well, and again, I guess I want to just touch on the marketing strategy and referral being hand in glove. It is, a lot of people think of marketing strategy and referral business as being two separate things, and they're not. And in fact, nothing could be further from the truth. Your marketing strategy and your referral strategy absolutely must be working together. If they're not, then you're absolutely missing the boat. You're spending way too much energy, and you're working against yourself. You put those both together and you aim them in the same direction, and you can use the energy from the one to propel the other. And so you want to make sure that your marketing strategy and your referral business are working together. And we're going to help show you how to do that. That's part of as we're coming up towards the end here, we'll talk about our free consult. Nate mentioned Marketing 101, and Nate realizes not everybody is at the same place with marketing. Some of you have a much better grasp on marketing, and you understand marketing a lot better than others. Some of you are thinking, oh my goodness, I've never really thought about marketing before, and how that plays into me. There's so much that goes into that, and we can talk in depth on it. I could tell you about your insurance programs, and if you choose to participate with insurance, how that actually is a form of marketing and what that costs you if you're getting from an insurance company and you're getting they put a whole group of people together and make you available to that group of people, and then they're going to pay you 72 to say 88 cents on the dollar for the services, and they're going to pay you back for that. That's really a marketing plan that's costing you 12 to 18%, because it's 12 to 18 cents that you're not getting on that dollar. That costs you 12 to 18%. And I can talk the marketing lingo with people that understand marketing, or if you don't understand marketing, we can bring it down to a real level where we make it understandable to you. And that's all part of the marketing consult, where we want to sit down with you and say, hey, you know what, where are you at on the spectrum? How do I need to talk to you? How can I best help you? Because again, we're not going to get anywhere unless we're helping you bring more customers into your practice each and every month. The long-term marketing strategy, in order to develop a long-term marketing strategy, you've got to look at those demographics. And again, that's something that we can help you look at. We can help you evaluate it and determine who's going to be your best customer. When you understand your best customer, you want to look at your location. And for some practices, we've even recommended that the location, if you have an opportunity to, might be best to move that location.
What I've seen, especially with retail, I've worked with a lot of retail. They're in a terrible location, and sometimes what ends up happening is, they saved $1,000 a month on rent. But honestly, they're spending $800 more on marketing to get the sales that they would get if they were in a better location. So in some ways, you can do the same thing for dentists. You might not be in the best location. As long as your facility is enough, to handle the business, sometimes you can make up for that with marketing. And I've done that for lots of customers. So understanding your location and the different intricacies that might go into that is helpful.
Yeah, especially if you've already, dropped a couple $100,000 to
Right, your build out.
to
Yeah.
build out the facility and the structure the way you need it. Obviously, changing that location is not necessarily going to be
Right.
the best or most practical means for you, at least not at this time. So, how do you make up for that in marketing? Again, carrying on, we'll talk about retention and referral plans, and that's another service that Street Smart Agency can help you with, is to develop a referral program and help you to create a referral program that's going to work for you.
I think a lot of dentists, I mean, we look at that when we do our consultation with people, is we want to see that you have some referrals coming in. The truth of the matter is, if you don't have an actual referral program of any kind, it's not likely you're getting nearly as many referrals as you could. So, it's ironic because we'll look at dentists and we'll look at their numbers, and it might show that they got a few hundred referrals even in a year, and they may think that that's the cat's meow or the bee's knees, because look at how and it's fantastic that you're doing that, but I think they never stop to think, gosh, I only got 200, I probably could have gotten 300.
Absolutely.
If they would have had a program in place that costs very little. I mean, for us to set up a referral program, usually it's about $500, and with some ongoing costs each month, but it's just a huge investment because again, it's just a low-hanging fruit that's just sitting there, and often, and we often think we're doing pretty good in some of those areas, but the reality is there's often much, much more that we could get.
Well, and if we talk about long-term marketing strategy being, what is the lifetime value of one of our patients? Average dentists, it varies, depending on your demographics, who your customer is, what your services are, if you're a specialty shop or if you're doing just some basic, preventative maintenance on teeth, whatever your specific is. But most, I would say, probably averages about $1,000 per patient is what we're seeing in the Twin Cities metro area here. $1,000 per year. Okay, so if I have to put in a couple $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and I get 5 new patients out of that, well, in that first year, not only am I going to make up whatever I've invested, obviously that retention plan is going to keep that customer around. So my lifetime value after I've recuperated the cost of that advertisement, well, now everything else is pure profit from that standpoint. And then that referral program is, again, that's the free advertising. So we want to make sure that it's definitely worth putting a little bit of investment in to make sure that you've got a referral plan that's maximizing your referrals.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be, look, the truth of the matter is I wouldn't be in business if we weren't consistently getting people 3 to 10 times or more return on investment. So if they're putting $1,000 in, the vast majority of our customers are getting $3,000 to $15,000 back out in business. So, and it's true with dentists and chiropractors and those kinds of areas too. So, yeah, you have to focus in that there's a certain amount of referrals that you're going to get, and what is the lifetime value. So for instance, with hair care, we work with a lot of franchise hair salons and independent hair salons. They might scratch your head and say, Nate, why in the world would they pay $80 for a new customer? Well, because a woman, she didn't come in the first time and spend $80, but she may come in 6 times throughout the year and spend $40, $50 each time. So they're thrilled to spend that kind of money to bring in a new customer. And especially, they're in a high referral business just like dentists. So they, for every 4 or 5 new customers I bring in, they may get another one from referral. When you have to take all these different things into account, and you have to have the systems in place to take advantage of it.
The last thing we're going to mention here today is just the follow-up on the long-term marketing strategy, because what your follow-up practices with your current clients, your current patients, definitely play into their overall perception, and it plays right into their your referral plan rather, and whether or not they're going to refer you to somebody else. That person who gets a follow-up call from their dentist themselves, not from the hygienist, not from a secretary, but from the dentist themselves, that says, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you, make sure that you're comfortable, that that crown isn't bothering you, that it's everything feels good in your mouth and there's no pain. That follow-up call, it's an investment, and it takes a few seconds, a couple minutes to do that, to make that call to each customer, but yet at the same time, that is just invaluable as far as the referrals.
And
that
you
you're
know,
gonna get
not every dentist maybe can pull that off, and I think you're kind of hinting at that a little bit, Jody. You know, and the thing is, look, you know, we've set up what we call appreciation marketing programs, where we can send out cards to different people for you. You know, just whether it's anniversaries or birthdays, or you missed their appointment, or you know, whatever. You know, anything you can think of can be huge, because again, it's positioning you as the dentist they like. And or you know, if it's phone calls, maybe you can't make them. You know, maybe someone on your staff can. And you might say, oh, no one on my staff has time for that. Well, that's because you don't have systems in place, you know, to make a lot of things happen. So, you know, again, you need someone to help you navigate that, because honestly, again, it's about low-hanging fruit and getting a lot more of those referrals, and about positioning you differently. And so, anyway, let's keep moving.
Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and just talk about our offer here. The Street Smart Agency would like to offer you a free 1-hour consult. And this is normally our $199 value, where we'd sit down with you. We'll do a face-to-face consult with flyer review, and we could talk about a specific flyer that you've done. If you wanted to bring that along, we could take that back, and we could run it through our processes and evaluate it for you and get back to you on that. But really what we want to do is we want to help you to evaluate your current marketing plan. We want to identify your strengths and your weaknesses in your current marketing plan, and show you where some of your, you know, possibilities, your improvement, your growth areas would be on that, and how we'd be able to help you with that, or how you can go ahead and, you know, some action steps that you could take to improve that. We'd like to help you determine what your practice's unique selling propositions are. Sometimes some of the dentists we've worked with go, I don't know what my USPs are. I don't know what we do, what we should focus on, or what we should tell people about. And just by sitting down and talking with you about what you do, we can help you determine what it is that you're really wanting to push to your clients and in your marketing advertising pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you I mean, look, I don't want to emphasize, maybe but if we spend an hour with you, we can figure out so much. It's an incredible how much we can sort out. And, the fact that you were able to do this for free, I mean, it's really a cool value, because it's not going to cost you anything. I can guarantee you're going to have, after an hour, it's going to have been well worth your time. And so it's an incredible thing that we can help you with, and there aren't any strings attached. We'll sit down. We will literally help you as much as we possibly can in that hour. Yeah, we'll make suggestions based on different products we have. Obviously, our flyer distribution services we have here are second to none, and that's a big part of how we help people. But there's all kinds of other marketing things we do with people, as far as direct mail and printing and design and web, and how do you position people on the web, and obviously those different things. We're helping all kinds of customers with those different things too. So, but part of it is just sitting down with you. I mean, this would be probably, I can almost guarantee it would be the best marketing time you spent on your practice this year, is sitting down for this consult for 1 hour. And what we could give you in an hour, I can almost guarantee is better than anything you've gotten this year from anybody else.
Well, Nate, I think that, you said no strings attached, and I just want to emphasize that that's absolutely the case. There's no strings attached. We're confident that the products that we have, if they weren't already selling themselves, we wouldn't be out here, pounding the pavement, talking about marketing and telling people what they can do to better their businesses. The truth of the matter is, people that take the time to evaluate what marketing is currently working for them and where they're at in marketing, reality is, in a business, you have to market. It's something that you just simply have to do. And so, we're confident that you're going to get something from it most of the time. And even if that doesn't result in somebody choosing to do business with us right at the moment, it still puts them in a place where they understand that, hey, you know what, I need to be thinking about that. And a lot of times we've had people that we've sat down for a consult with before that didn't do anything right then. It wasn't the right timing for them. It wasn't the right moment for them. But turn a few months down the road and they go, hey, you know what, there's something now, I have a need, and I want to go ahead and act on that now. So no strings attached. If you don't want to do anything right now, you're certainly not obligated. It's just one of those things where, you know, awareness and knowing what's available and how somebody has the opportunity or the ability to help you could be a tool in your belt for when you need that.
Yep. So you'll see some links below that you can contact us, or I think the phone number is here on every slide, so you can certainly call us too. We don't mind the phone. An email is fine too, and we can set up a time to meet. And you know, we just look forward to meeting you and learning about your practice and how we can help.
Thanks so much for your time. Have an awesome day.